Hey folks, this is Kelani. I guess we won't be waiting for BlizzCon to learn about patch 8.3 after all, because the dev team just unleashed a load of information onto the PTR for the usual culprits to data mine, but there's actually a lot on the PTR itself ready to test as well. I think this might be the most progressed and fleshed out PTR we've ever had. Seriously, we usually get the initial build, which has a handful of things to test, and then the rest is brought to us over the next couple of months. Not this time. We're blasting right out of the gates with patch 8.3, which is really exciting to me, but we can blab about what this all means in a bit. Let's have a look at what new content you can look forward to in patch 8.3. 8.3 is all about Nzoth, the Void, and what unleashing an old god near its full power does to the world around you. We're slipping through the veil to see glimpses of the Void here and there, and the Void is seeping through to our reality as well. One of the major features of patch 8.3 will be the new assaults. I know what you're thinking, more assaults, but these work a little differently. Seeing as one of the greatest threats to Nzoth and his Void companions is the existence of several powerful Titan facilities spread around Azeroth, it kind of makes sense that they would be some of his first targets. He's looking towards the Halls of Origination in Uldum, as well as the Mogashan Vault in the Vale of Eternal Blossoms. While these areas are under attack, you can find the usual markers on your world map. This can notify you when you can take part in the assault and also give you a time remaining so you can figure out whether you can risk skipping it until tomorrow. The zones change quite considerably while the Void is establishing a foothold. Purplish Void scars curve their way around the ground. New monsters of a fiendish nature can be found around every corner. Banners and obelisks sprout up to claim this new territory for the Void, floating islands change up the scenery and provide some key focal points for your attention, and the vast majority of the zone glows with a nasty purple hue. Basically, the Void takes over everything in sight, and it's your job to push them back at least a little bit. These work as most assaults do. You're given a world quest to complete, which right now just consists of taking down banners, killing lots of monsters, and popping a few pimples. There are a few events here and there to change things up, but nothing too out of the ordinary. We have assaults for both Uldum and the Vale, and on the PTR right now they can be active at the same time, but that might not be the case when this goes live. You'll get a typical reward from the world quest itself, gold, artifact power, a few different new currencies, gear, you know, the usual stuff. There are also a handful of dailies available for each assault, which have you kill off a few mobs, clean up some of the Void sludge, and what have you. There are some new reputations linked to the assaults as well, so I assume you'll be gathering up rep as you take part in everything else. We'll talk more about reps as we get more info. But that's not even close to the cool part. The assaults will also give you access to some visions of Nzoth. These visions throw you into a world that's been overrun by the Void already. They're Nzoth's image of what he wants to happen. You'll have a sanity bar that drains constantly, and when it hits 0 you're forced out of the vision. So you're on a strict timer with this stuff. You can do various things in the vision to gain some of your sanity back, like rescuing NPCs, but you will be forced out eventually. It looks like these minor visions are repeatable, but when you first try to go into a vision, it does tell you that your brain will be scrambled for a bit and you won't be able to re-enter until you get your head on straight again. That sounds like there will be a cooldown on these things for sure. I came back to the same vision a few hours later and I still couldn't hop back in. So maybe this will be quite a lengthy cooldown, or maybe even one vision per assault timer. We'll just have to wait and see. Almost all of the new progression paths in 8.3 focus on you being able to stay sane longer and thus stay in these visions for longer to get more done, but more about that later. The purpose of these minor visions seems to be twofold. First, to collect coalescing visions. These are incredibly important as they allow you to gain access to more important visions later on. The other purpose is to collect corrupted mementos. This is a new currency which will fuel all of your upgrades relating to the visions. The longer you stay in these visions, the further you can get and the more currency you'll come out with. The coalescing visions can be combined to create a vessel of horrific visions. These vessels allow you to open up the real endgame of visions, a horrific vision of Stormwind or Orgrimmar. These visions are a bit more special. They have bosses, objectives, secrets, and once again you're on a time limit or a sanity limit at the very least. To start out, you'll need 100 coalescing visions to create a vessel, and each time you make one the cost will double. Because you can buy them on the PTR right now, I'm up to 1600 coalescing to make a single vessel. This stuff is going to get out of hand pretty quickly by the looks of things, but maybe it will reset every so often to allow you to do more horrific visions. From my very first minor vision, I got 43 coalescing visions, so not that great when all is said and done. As you upgrade your resistances to the Void and to Nzoth's Whispers, you'll be able to stay in both minor visions and horrific visions for longer periods of time. That means you can collect more currencies and complete more objectives. If you open up your map while in a horrific vision, you can see all of the objectives available to you. The more you complete, the more chests you'll have to open at the end of your run. You can take part in any vision content on your own or up to a party of 5. Everything will scale appropriately, so if you want to go solo, that's perfectly viable, and this is actually the devs' response to "we want more mage towers." Soloable, meaningful progression systems that reward your time and effort. This certainly seems to tick a few of those boxes. So let's talk upgrades. The first progression path you'll be set down is obtaining a new legendary. Rathian still loves his legendary cloaks, I guess, because he'll be giving us a brand new one sometime early in patch 8.3. I say early because the horrific visions won't even let you enter them on the PTR if you don't have a cloak equipped, so the cloak has to be one of the first things we get our hands on, right? We're not too sure how the overall progression path works right now, but we know you start at rank 1 of your legendary cloak and you can upgrade it all the way to rank 15. You'll need to collect various cores to upgrade your cloak, but we're not too sure how to get them just yet. As you upgrade the cloak, it will increase your resistance to the sanity drain of visions and it will increase in item level to provide you with more stats. At rank 15 it will still be item level 425, which seems a bit low if you're a fully mythic geared raider right now, but we're still in the early days on the PTR. The main benefit is the 75% reduction to all sanity loss at max rank, which is going to be huge and will keep you in visions quite a bit longer. The other main source of upgrades, or personal progression, is the Titan Research Archive. This is where the corrupted memento currency comes into play. You can use the mementos to unlock various perks and bonuses that combat the negative effects of visions. Learn how to summon orbs that replenish your sanity, regen sanity when you drop to 0, take reduced damage and deal more damage, increase max sanity, regen sanity when you kill an elite, all sorts of little buffs to help you stay in visions for longer so you can maximize your rewards. The dev team has noted that this system in particular is an early model and is very much a work in progress. We should see different, more varied, maybe even more bonuses to go alongside everything you see here. From what I've seen of memento acquisition, getting through this entire tree might take a while, but it looks as though as you progress you'll be able to earn more mementos to progress faster and the cycle will just repeat itself. When you first get into the visions, you won't be able to stay there for very long, but as you progress with the Cloak and the Titanic Archive, you should eventually be able to do anything and everything you could want in a vision, and then leave on your own terms. That's probably right at the very end though, when everything is upgraded to the possible max. When you complete a horrific vision, or when you fail one, you'll be offered up a chest of goodies. For our win, we got an Orb of Visions, which can help you work towards some new gearing up options in 8.3, as well as 500 mementos. Not too bad. When we lost, we only got 100 mementos, so winning is definitely preferable. We lost because both of us hit 0 sanity, and the one in which we won, we zoned in and immediately went for the main boss. Once we killed that boss, we were forced out of the vision, so I guess the general idea will be to farm as much as you can before you start running out of sanity, and then kill the boss or complete the objectives before you run out of sanity completely. Make the most of your time in the visions. You won't be able to repeat these one after another with the increasing cost of coalescing visions to make a vessel, at least with how the system works right now on the PTR. It looks like you can earn up to 5 chests via ending rewards, 4 from the objectives and then 1 from the boss kill. So if you play your cards right, you can walk away with a lot of loot from a single horrific vision. That's not all that lies in store for 8.3 though. We also have some updates to the Heart of Azeroth system. The most exciting thing related to the Heart is new essences for you to chase after. There's 7 new essences from what I can tell, and they have quite a variety of effects. I assume these new essences will come from the new Mythic Plus season, the new raid, the new reputations, and something to do with the new Visions feature, following in the footsteps of the essences that we've acquired so far, no doubt. I'll have the new ones on screen for you to have a quick look at. We'll dive into these a bit more in another video dedicated to the Heart of Azeroth's changes, but I think some of these are really going to up the playing field when it comes to essence management. You can take the easy route and just have everyone using fireballs and whatnot, or you can micromanage some of these new ones to get some major bonuses for your entire raid. That's kind of exciting. The essences that we have right now will also be receiving some balance and tuning changes, as you might expect, so some of the not so great ones might get bumped up a notch and some of the crazy ones might end up on the bench for a little bit of next raid tier. I don't think any of the changes are super significant, but you can read about them in a Wowhead post and I'll link in the comments section below. There will also be a few extra nodes slapped onto the Heart of Azeroth, including a brand new miner slot, which will hopefully be filled by one of those brand spanking new essences in 8.3. A little later on down the line, they're also going to add another node at the very end of the Heart chain, which will be another infinite progression node similar to the Concordance of Legionfall artifact trait from back in Legion. I guess our Heart won't have a hard cap on it for a while then, and instead of just stopping at 70 or 85, this new endless trait will allow you to dump excess artifact power into your Heart to just keep powering it up. Not necessarily something to super work towards, but it's always nice to know that the extra artifact power won't be going to waste. Another massive change coming with patch 8.3 is the Auction House Overhaul. This isn't some band-aid slap a sticker over the wrong price kind of change. The Auction House as we know it will be gone. Done are the days of single stacks plaguing the system, sifting through page after page after page until you finally see that stack of 200. That precious rare treat of buying everything you need in one fell swoop. Well, that's going to be how everything works from here on out. We have a buy order and sell order system, ladies and gentlemen. It's finally happened. So now you just throw your stuff up on the auction house for whatever you think it's worth, and it joins the flock of everything else up there. Say you have a stack of 14 ore and someone below you has a cheaper stack of 10. Usually those would be separate entities. You buy the entire stack or you go home. But with this new system, someone could buy only 2 of that cheaper 10 stack and leave the remaining 8 on the auction house. Another player could come by afterwards and want to buy 9. Instead of having to buy the leftover stack of 8 then find a stack of 1, he would just punch in his request for 9 ore. The auction house does the rest and would automatically sell the stack of 8 plus 1 ore from your stack, assuming it's the next best price, leaving 13 of your stack available on the auction house for whoever comes next. Dealing with the auction house is going to be so much simpler and more efficient than ever before. Heck, with the way things are going, you might not even need an auction house add-on anymore. This update is actually on the PTR right now as well, so they've already done all of the work. This isn't a "we promise this will work by the time 8.3 comes out" kind of thing. It's already there. We can see how it works already, and I can't tell you how happy I am to finally see this become a reality. World of Warcraft's auction house was so outdated and clunky and just horrible to use for the most part. This will change everything. Patch 8.3 isn't just a world content update either, it also comes equipped with a brand new raid tier. 12 bosses in total await you in the nightmarish city of Ny'alotha. Yeah, I don't exactly know what the next expansion is going to be about, but we might actually wrap up the entire Old God Nzoth Void thing in 8.3. We do know that Ny'alotha is Nzoth's dwelling. He's listed in the raid journal as the last boss, and Ian confirmed that he would be waiting for us at the end of this raid tier, and our legendary cloak is going to play an important role. 12 bosses is also a lot to chew through, so I'm excited to see how the world first race goes for this one. A new raid tier means new loot, new achievements, new mounts, and of course more encounters to bash your way through. Raid content remains one of the best features in World of Warcraft these days, so a new raid tier is always something to be hyped about. On another note, 2 new allied races will be joining the fold as well. The Alliance will be recruiting, shock horror, the Mechanomes, because nobody saw that one coming, while the Horde will be teaming up with the Vulpera, which, let's be honest, is a surprise to absolutely everyone who was even paying the tiniest shred of attention at all during any part of BfA. We really didn't see that one coming. But yes, it's time for the new tiny races that we've met in our adventures to be brought under our wing. A new tiny race for the Horde, a new tiny race for the Alliance. All's well that ends well. You can create these allied races on the PTR right now to check out their animations, some of their racials, their class options, and all that good stuff. A Vulpera Rogue is actually super tempting right now. Maybe I'll make one when 8.3 goes live. To pick up the Vulpera allied race, you'll need to have done the Voldoom questlines and get rep with, well, the Vulpera, I guess. That should be pretty much everyone on the Horde at this point, so easy peasy. Over on the Alliance side, I'm guessing rep with Mechagon and that main storyline as well. A little newer when compared to the Horde requirements, but Exalted with the Mechagon rep should be on everyone's to-do list anyway. For the most part, I wouldn't expect anyone to have any issues meeting the requirements to start playing these new races right away. And as with any new patch, expect to see some new story quests which explain what we're doing, why we're doing it, and where we're going to end up, as well as a new round of class changes and balance tuning. There's some new stuff to look forward to with professions, including more catch-up options for your alts, the Goblin and Worgen Heritage Armor questlines will be coming with patch 8.3, and they're actually available on the PTR right now if that's something that interests you. The Darkshore Warfront will be getting a heroic version, there's a new pet battle dungeon down in Blackrock Depths, there's a new Darkmoon Fair arcade to look forward to, and even a tease at nuking the current Titan Forging system. I'm sure patch 8.3 will also include a whole variety of other goodies to keep you occupied until the next expansion rolls around. I wasn't too sure how the dev team would play this patch. They had 2 options really. The first was to keep their mouths zipped tight about anything and everything to do with World of Warcraft, keep absolutely everything in reserve for BlizzCon to make it one of the biggest events we've had for years. Everything about patch 8.3 and the next expansion in one huge hullabaloo. The other option was to dump everything about 8.3 before BlizzCon hits, and then just talk about what comes after that. They might touch on 8.3.5, but most of the focus would probably be for the next expansion. Obviously, that approach only really works if they have a lot to talk about relating to the next expansion, but that's the choice they went with. I didn't expect to hear anything during October, but we got a massive dev update talking about 8.3, and then it goes up onto the PTR the very same day. That's some insane Overwatch level content drop. Not only do we have some parts of patch 8.3 available for testing, but I think we have almost 90% of it. All of the meat is in there. The minor visions, the horrific visions, the assaults, the legendary cloak, the new essences, the auction house revamp, and almost all of the information about the new raid. The boss names are there, a lot of the lore, abilities, loot, and even models are there. The heritage armor quest lines are in, the allied races are available for creation. It's awesome. PTR cycles usually start kind of thin, but it looks like they have 8.3 almost finished already. I can't wait to see when they decide to release it. It could end up being much sooner than we ever thought. I'm super stoked to dive further into this PTR to bring you all the info I can. But that's it for this little quick overview, preview dealio for what kinds of content you can expect to see in patch 8.3. What do you think so far from what we've seen of this patch? Will we see this patch before the new year or just afterwards? What feature are you most excited to try out in patch 8.3? The new allied races? The new auction house system? Maybe the horrific visions of Stormwind and Orgrimmar? Leave all your thoughts in the comments section below. A big thank you to all of our supporters over on Patreon. You can see their names floating by on screen. If you want to join these lovely guys and gals, you can find a link in the description below. Remember to leave a like just below the video before you leave, and if you want to see more, make sure to subscribe. But apart from that, thanks for watching folks, good luck and have fun, and as always I will see you next time.